Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to meet the owner of this house, the owner of this school, that is Seithogei Living School, Sir Richard Belho, who is the man behind this Seithogei Living School. I cannot comprehend every concept that he has, so he will share with you all directly. You all are lucky, and we are also lucky to have that experience today.
Thank you. Thank
This
you.
morning.
Yeah. So good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How's been your journey?
Very good.
Amazing.
Tiring. And also welcome to Nagaland. This must be your for most of you it'll be your first visit, right?
Yes.
What are you looking forward to? How many of the faculties are here? Three of you, no? Four.
She's also
Oh, you're okay.
She's also Sarah ma'am, and Joel sir, and Genesis sir, and myself.
And the rest are from which level
They
of
are in third year,
third year?
fifth semester,
Fifth semester of?
Sociology department.
Okay. Here we had interns, 5 of them from Mizoram also, final year. Did you meet them?
Yes.
Yes.
Few of them we made, two or three we met yesterday.
Then St. Joseph University, 15 of them will come on 11th. We have also architectural interns from, means on a regular basis. We get from IIT Roorkee, from Delhi, SPA Delhi, from SEPT, Ahmedabad. But why would people come here is, we also have a slightly different concept. As you may all be aware, it's like either a good dream or a bad dream, but hoping to study hard and make it in. Even if you get government job also, you know very well that your knowledge will not be utilized and you'll be kicked like football left and right. And the system of democracy in India is that educated people will work under uneducated politicians. There's no guarantee that you will always get very good politicians. And the majority of our people do not have the proper education, so they'll end up always electing the wrong people. And the future aspiration. Kids are learning things very fast. You are all learning. The level of the way the brain processes information. When TV came, advertisement used to be 30 minutes long. Can you believe? Then it will be 15 minutes. It will be so long that right now advertisement can be just 5 seconds long. And there it was a time when movies used to be 4 hours long also. Today in just 15 seconds, just 30 seconds, I still keep saying, yesterday also someone was saying he's writing a book. Books, the world of communicating with beautiful floral words, articulated words is disappearing fast. Today, you can just communicate with an emoji also. If someone sends you one emoji and you may be mentally disturbed or may be very happy also. We are moving to a world where we can even communicate telepathically, and this has already been done. This level of communication is also coming in fast. Today, school is becoming redundant. Education is changing. You'll be surprised when your younger brother or sister who you used to say jobless is earning more money on YouTube than you. When you're studying hard to become an accomplished academician. When your family gamer who's always wasting time on phone, playing video games, suddenly is now an established. This time in Hornbill, the first time we're having games, Dota being given all the online game first prize as 1 lakh. Whereas traditional game, the first prize will probably will only be 10,000, 20,000. Hello. Good morning. Look. Acha puto wa phone sa zin lo. So we also had in architecture, we also had subject sociology, 1 semester of sociology, economics. I would socio-economic factors, the mentality, the demography of things. We are all being challenged. Today, Hornbill Festival, the inauguration will be at 4. By 12, people are expected to start now, so you can reach there before that, after that also. But sometimes our own people get confused why Hornbill is being celebrated, and sometimes people say Satan is there, now this is the devil thing and whatnot. At the heart of a tribal community, of a tribe like Nagaland, there are this need to search for our identity, for our roots. And because we don't have script, it is all recorded in the stories, in the songs, in the dances, in the food, in the drinks. You must have seen our rice beer production, no? Did you see?
Not
So,
yet.
rice beer means people say, hey, you Angami, you drink rice beer, you are not Christian. We drink rice beer because our agriculture method is good, because we have surplus. Any community that has rice beer means the farming technique is good. Those people who don't have rice beer means, or beer of any kind, that means they have no surplus item. So when someone pulls a stone and keep it if you go to a traditional Naga village, you see stones. Those stones record the time, the history, and why that stone was being pulled. So that kind of rich oral history was there, but then as modern listening came, people started forgetting. When we build with natural material, every now and then we had to repair. So before repairing, everyone had to come together. So when people came together, people got a chance to know each other. We got to meet new people, and people were vulnerable. When if there's a village fire, some other village came to help. When you are vulnerable, you are grateful to people. When you are grateful to people, you are nice to people. Okay. The society has become, why society do you think society has become selfish? It's because it's my life, my wish. What's your problem? I can manage without you. I don't need you. No, that kind of attitude has come. So people start thinking, I don't need you. Why should I? No. Why do I need my neighbor? My neighbor will always keep. No, we started hating each other. Even Jesus came and said, "Oh, please love your neighbor." Maybe he was looking back ahead in time and thinking that, well, as human beings, as we are fighting for no reason. Human beings can just get bored and just want to start fighting. For people like Nagas, they can just, if they see a person long enough, they'll just start hating him, and then they'll start writing something bad about those people, even if they don't know them. They'll start saying, this guy is so corrupted and whatnot, because they just keep staring and staring and staring, and even if they start judging. And so we are living in a world where social media is such a bad tool for when you want to spread negativity. The other thing is, today, development, when you say development, when you came up from Kohima to Dimapur to Kohima, You saw all the road blockage and whatnot. See, that is the price of development. Someone told us that we should get 4-lane road. They got their forest expert and all these things to deliberate on that, and they said, no, it's not safe. Don't go for 4-lane. You just go for 2-lane and properly. Don't ever use explosives and whatnot. Then even that report was published in the paper, and they went ahead and they just built 4-lane. Now, instead of 4-lane, it's become sometimes 2-lane, sometimes 1-lane, sometimes no lane, sometimes 4-lane again. So we are like we don't know like in which in 20 years time or 30 years time. Now we are just waiting for a whole mountain to come down so that there will be nothing left to come down. So we'll have stable road. It's become so. This is sometimes the idea of development that we are getting, and it starts from how the colonial mentality. When the British colonized India, they had to give people a sense of you are backward, I'm forward. No, you are uneducated, I'm educated. You are uncivilized, I'm civilized. Now, that colonization mentality brought us to a point where we started thinking, or in Nagaland, when we say my father is poor, we say my father is a farmer. Now, you have to understand, in first world countries, farmers are rich. In third world countries, farmers are poor. So, wherever farmers are poor, the country is not developed. When farmers are rich, the country is developed. Now, when we see what makes a society strong, or what should be the how society should survive, is when you circulate all your money among your people and don't allow it to cross Tripura, don't allow it to go into other people's hands. That is where circulation, this is known as economic vitality. Economic vitality is when money is circulated between, as much as possible, between the local people. So when I build with bamboo, I buy from the local Naga villages. I only engage the local Naga workers and work. So the more bamboo building I build, and the more I construct, and the more rich people invest in bamboo buildings, I know like I'm allowing money to come into Nagaland. KFC coming to Kohima or KFC coming to Tripura has nothing but just to extract the money and take it back to KFC. But if you put Tripura fried chicken into the market, then you extract the money and bring it to Tripura. Your what college is your college?
Holy Cross College. Holy Cross College.
Oh, Holy Cross College. Okay, I studied in Holy Cross School in Dimapur, so coincidence. But so when we are trying to like decide how we can develop our land or our people, or how can we change the system, there is something that you need to understand. Like in sociology, what is the end after you pass out? No, what are the job opportunities, career opportunities?
Maybe
Teaching, academician, researcher,
or in
rural
or
development.
social work,
NGOs.
NGOs. Or if they do sociology with some other diplomas, then they can fit in
So,
many other varieties.
so NGOs mean, if you say NGO means what type of work will be? You'll be doing livelihood assessment, working with the rural. Okay. So, let me give you a primer. The colonial mentality that has brought people, that's been pumped into India has like now transformed that to like the advantage. See, they were so amazed to find that you could buy 1 year's worth of rice by just that 1 month's salary, and then they realized there's no point going to work. This is like almost like as if freedom has come to Nagaland, and anyone who had that money can buy anything. So we started looking at money as a currency, thinking that it's like a free gift, not even as a salary, but as a free gift that you can buy, go and buy. So that's why we started buying, and Nagaland eventually became the state that eats maximum number of amount of pork. All the time we're buying every day 1 kilo of pork, 1 kilo of pork. And we started buying, and then those people who had salary were considered rich, and those people who didn't have salary were considered poor. And then the mentality of poverty crept in. Slowly, this mentality is coming in, like the idea that before, when our parents, my parents cutting their generation, I finished my architectural education in 1999, okay? So you can guess what was the timeline. But in my parents' generation, when and we had a paper mill at Tuli, we had a sugar mill factory at Dimapur, we had so many things going on, and the women were driving tractors, and the whole documentary was done, and Nagaland was just booming. Now the thing is, you have to understand this. There's something like I have 3 vertical. One is my main architectural consultancy and architectural designs and works, and my bamboo. If you go to Kisama today, you'll see International Ballroom. One is we have our construction activity training. We do construction trainings, and one is farming, which is called the Green Caravan. And the Green Caravan is a different entity. It's a market linkage plus organic. So when we are working with this, we work as service provider working with the farmers. And sooner or later, one day, you'll find yourself working in an organization, or maybe heading an organization where you are trying to figure out what we should do for the local people. So in a local context, the more you improve the economy, there's more chances that the father will come home drunk and start beating his wife, as opposed to how the tribal mentality works is we like to show off. Okay. So if you have a little bit of extra money, you say, let's go for a treat. And it'll start with drinks. And drinks means it'll end up with something like a fight, or it'll end up with something like a fling, or ending causing a fight, or it always end up with something. But we tribal don't have the attitude or the mentality or the discipline of learning to save things and then making sure that and it does not even just end with tribal also. It all over the world, like even in India, in in Kerala, they started very successfully this coconut, vanilla, rubber, and one generation became very rich. But the next generation didn't have to work so hard because parents have set up all these things. So they started becoming drug addicts. Now society just goes into a loop, okay? Every 3 generations, it just goes into a loop. A rich parent, if you grew up in a very big house, palatial house, you want to move into a smaller apartment. If you grew up from a very small house, you'd want to build one grand apartment, and no, it is just everyone wants to like just do the extreme of what the situation that they were in and just stretching it out to. So sometimes we're going through a point where even if you are educated, you are useless. People have stopped valuing education. They have started attaching value to something more of a visual this thing about earning money, about doing. So sometimes if you want to destroy a community, it's to give them economic opportunity also. The whole this thing may break up. If you go to Molingno in the Meghalaya and go and research that place, you'll understand. Being tagged as the cleanest village in Asia, suddenly every day lots of tourists were coming in, and they had suddenly the village council had so much of money that they started fighting. And they started saying someone is misusing the fund and all these things. Suddenly, your activity would become unnecessarily burdened by issues. Now, when we talk about farming, it was in the 1960s, when in America, people were working in corporate sector. They got tired. They said, "I don't want to work for this system anymore," and they started going and they started living in the farms, and then like massive plantation of palm oil and that oil palm cutting, your rubber plantation, your don't do anything on a massive scale. Massive scale means we don't have the temperament to do it. It'll eat up all your time, and you will not really feel the sense of doing something with your life. That farming becomes a burden when you change. But if you do something where even little if you grow, you can sell it with a good rate, and it is a very premium product, and it's so good for health or something like that. If you've got that idea, then it's so if you do something like that with that context in mind, then you'll be able to pace and balance your life. So we have this approach called syntropic agroforestry, where everything is in balance, and here we try to create that system. An organic farm is, since you are too short of your time, we will not be able to show you some of our farms out, but you can see I don't vaccinate my pigs, and I have about 40 pigs being managed only by one boy. So it is you understanding how to rear pigs. If you understand how to rear pig, you can rear 40 pigs by one guy. And if you can get 40 pigs reared by one person, that person can really make money. Okay, but if you think one pig need 4 pigs need one person to manage, then the profit margin will be different. So it's about also understanding how. Then we have a system in place where minimal irrigation farming. I'll just take you around and show. Then we have our, if you see here, so we'll slowly take a tour around. You are free right now, no?
Yes, sir.
So, but anyway, Tido, no ba? Tabo di office no, abi phone se where is it? Outside here, you can see these brown pots. No? You can just, these are our home vermicomposting unit, which anyone can set up. Okay. Mula phone ni mo. See this one, no? You can see.
Guys can come and
Bring
see.
your camera here if you want to.
Yes, sir.
And then let turn by turn let.
Yes, sir.
So see, this is our own vermicompost. Okay. So from the amount of waste that we collect in our kitchen only, you can generate your own vermicompost. Just take these brown pots. So some of you may be interested, but most of you may not be interested to learn about this, not because you are not interested, but you are not aware how important this is. Definitely, whatever it is, when you go out and when you pass out, someone will hand you. Can I see that person's face in the? Yeah, come. Yeah. It's good to be visible. Okay.
Yes.
So see, this is the most critical part. Just try to listen to me. One of the most challenging thing. One of the most challenging thing is at this point of time is not to be distracted. All my life and your life will be struggling with certain things, and one of the most important things that we'll be struggling with is discipline. And discipline is more about learning to say no than yes. Hey, would you like to come for a party? We are going to hang out. No, I don't want to come. No. Saying no is more difficult. So one thing you'll try, the first thing that when someone hands over a certificate to you, you start thinking, now what do I do with this? So the first that question means, how do I sustain myself? How can I sustain myself? And where will this take me? Should I go and find a job? No. Should I study hard and get clear a government exam, UPSC and all these things? No. Should I just start something on my own? What and where? Kelezo! Baby! So, what should we do with, what is the thing that we can start? Now, if you go to any primary, if you go to any primer, and then, how many of you have read that guy Kawasaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Can you raise your hand? Have you?
Very few.
You'll understand. The worst type of business is food business, is hotel, top 10 if you go like that. Rich people don't get rich. The idea of making money is more about passive income than active, you being so engaged involved. So if you're running a business where you're really involved, it's like you're the best chef in the world and all. That means your business, you have no time. That's like active income is the worst type of business where your whole involvement is required and you cannot move anywhere. And even if you're earning so much, you'll be so stressed out that you'll not even enjoy. And that business does not allow you to do anything also. That business allows your presence all the time. And you must have sometimes seen some of the serials on internet or on TV about gold mining, how people go and mine gold. At the end of the day, they say, we have got this much of profit. But after deduction of the hiring charges of all the machineries, if you think about it, it's not really worth it. No. The excitement of finding gold is okay. Apart from that excitement, money-wise, they're not earning anything. So the margin. So for me, the easiest way any of you can make money at home passively is to have a vermicomposting unit. And you can just convert all your trash, all the trash that is there generated in your town, and just convert into a vermicomposting unit. And you just need to know 2-3 basics. Why people started saying vermicomposting has to be at a brick wall and this thing and that thing. It's because the moment it becomes important for government to share something, government will try to create a kind of a cost component. Like they have to start to even tell you anything, they'll construct something first. So that some engineer will do an estimate and some money can be extracted from sharing that knowledge. So even if we can say, you just take cow dung and mix it, they'll say, please build a pit, then put nala around, and then put a cover, and then only they'll say mix it. So this is how the whole, because if information can be shared freely, then they'll say, what is my income? Even first you click like and subscribe, only then I'll share that information at today's this thing. Or please send some stars to me. So a vermicompost, in simple terms, a red regular worm, it dies at around 35 degrees centigrade, but it can thrive only at 18 degrees centigrade to 24 degrees centigrade. So at 18 to 24, and because worms can only breathe through the skin, it can only breathe through the skin, so the skin needs to be wet. And the quality of your vermicompost, it will only shit what it eats. Now, what you feed it. Now, whatever we eat in our kitchen has got a good mix. But how we can prevent it from smelling and all, is because we take the kitchen waste and bury it inside with the other things. So it'll keep eating from below and it'll keep pooping above. Slowly you can just harvest. And these are things like to make the right bedding mix. When you take waste and throw it in a certain area, it'll start composting. And then when it starts composting, it'll generate foul smell also because bacterial activity, and it'll also generate heat. So when heat is generated, it'll kill the worms. So you need the right amount of moisture and the right amount of ventilation. So you create bedding mix made from just maybe cartons or straw or paper, and then we have to increase the humidity, and it is best to use chop banana stems, and you can cover it with banana cover. Why I do in pots, you can just do it on the ground also. It does not matter if ants goes and attack it, it will never be able to finish the colony of
Worms.
The worms only die because of lack of moisture and temperature control. So, and it does not like light. So, but I've seen people doing major business with worm by taking slightly smaller pot than so we put a pot, put paper cartons here or banana leaves, and then all the side also make more insulation so that this thing does not heat up. Then mix in such a way that there's moisture and there's so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 pots. Just say you have mixed, put all the food and put the worms. These are known as red regular worms. You can easily, if you can even take from here and then take a little bit, and it'll reach Tripura Aram se. So these are variety that's safe for this thing. It will not attack the roots of the plants even if you put in your garden. No, it will not come and eat that. So 9 and then put a board, and then 9 and put a board, and then 9 and put a board. No. So 9 cover with it. Then you put 9 in. That feeding schedule, and then like that 9 and then it will go into a big warehouse, and every day FIFO, no, first in, first out. So based on that, they will every day. It's like become like a factory again. So by the time they reach there, it would be 1 month. No? So by then they would be harvesting, and they'll harvest this worm and then again put it back into this thing. The vermicompost will come out. And they have premium vermicompost because they mix it in the feed, they put bone meal, blood meal. So you can start a vermicomposting factory like this easily with no cost by just having some waste being generated and thrown there, and the worm will eat it. And then this will be the game changer to any villager, where even if they don't sell the vermicompost, actually good quality vermicompost is more than 100 rupees per kg. Even in Tripura, if you search good quality, you'll not get below 60 rupees. And it's a very good income, because if you have got the right temperature, the worm will multiply so fast that your production will be very fast. So this is one activity. And the other thing is learning to plan out your farm. And this will also, your knowledge, whether you do it or not, when you come to a village, you'll be thinking, how can I make this place a little bit better by my presence here? And what can I improve? What should I know? How can I balance it out? So there'll be things like all the time you'll find this same problem. How to make these communities sustainable, and in tribal communities, how to make it resilient. Tribal people are not very resilient, okay? Tribal people, like if you are into hunting and all, like Nagas, if you see a deer, the guys can be chasing the deer for 3-4 days in the jungle. But if you give them one sack of rice and then ask them to carry this and drop it there, this is too heavy, nah? The mental thing triggers on different issues, and sometimes we are not able to work on. You try to do some business, and if the moment you find the first time you fail, you say, never do that business again. This is so dangerous. You have to know all the successful people in the world have become successful only because they encountered loss. Never, if you ever meet someone who says, I'm so lucky, I've never encountered any loss, then they're just lying, okay? If you meet someone, whatever I did, everything was flop, that's a real businessman, okay? Because that's a reality of business. You learn on the go only. And you learn means you learn only by failing. Unless you have a monopolistic business where you own the canteen in Holy Cross College, because you know the owner. There you cannot get into a loss, because everyone will have to buy from you only. So you have to understand that resilience is very one of the main reasons why our communities, our tribal people, do not do well in businesses. And to improve resilience is to undertake this type of study tours. Let them go and meet communities. We cannot teach them resilience by just saying like that. They have to go and see how people are surviving. In our Nagaland State Rural Livelihood Mission, NSRLM, they try to bring some resilience, some success stories. No? Some ladies, some group in Hyderabad, they are very difficult condition. No? They became successful as a group, and then they brought them all the way to Kohima and to a Angami village here. And then they told the story. And after they told all the story and how they changed and how our Angami villagers, the ladies, no? They felt so sorry for them. They were not inspired. They were only feeling sorry for them. thought like, if they can do it, we can also do it. No, they were thinking some kind of response like that. No. So actually our local ladies, though, they wanted to help them, they were feeling so sorry for them. No? So sometimes telling the story does not become effective, but going there and seeing what they are doing and learning without really being here again. I'm again becoming like a lecturer talking to you. So your mind will trigger back, and we have been trying to avoid this kind of situation. That's why we are traveling. No, we're so fed up of people talking to us, and so again here we are caught up with this situation. So, because there's a paucity of time, that's why I have to force myself to talk to you. Otherwise, we could have just skipped this talking, and we could have allowed you to observe and then learn on your own. But sometimes you would not even notice that there was a vermicomposting process. No. And then if you come and see here,
Let's go.
습대가 가려서 뭐 뷰를 비울라 해가지고 그냥 가려라.
뭐 지금 So here I'm teaching my. There's a logic. Avan, itu hanya pani dari mana? This is so just to give it. If you put sand and put this coconut rope here, it'll generate a kind of a drip irrigation which will provide only minimal water, and at least you don't have to irrigate for 1 week. So this water irrigation should suffice for this. So I'm just trying to train a group of young kids to plan out all these things. See, in a grafted condition, this is grafting, okay? So this is grafted from here. So all these things. Wait, Afan. Ini pani bi dalu aru itu graft ko itu ni chance of tahu lagi deh. This will be here in the pot for this year. Next year during April, it'll go into the farm. Most of the things that you buy from the nursery, they have kept it in a very compressed condition. Okay, because they don't want it to grow. If it grows big, there will be no space to keep them. So they'll just keep compressing it, and the root will not be able to breathe. If you just take it directly and go and put it into the soil, you go after 2-3 years or so, it will not die, but they still not grow well. Okay, so and a lot of people, the mistake that they make is when you buy anything from the nursery, there's a top level tree, especially. Don't bury it under the ground. If you go to the forest and see, then you always find the root on the top. But when you plant it so deep into the ground, so the root will not be able to move. So the root always have to be able to move on the top. So don't plant it buried under the ground. So we dig something, a hole, and then we mix again, and at least we plant most of the things like the nursery bulb. We just put on the top and cover. We don't bury it under the ground. Okay. So this was one of the misconceptions. Itu hanya pani dali di bidai. Come, we'll take you there. So we made this, all these things. We made these trellises and just growing the pumpkin from pots only. So just to show that in a small space, you can just grow anything. Everyone will have a small space like this. So, just a bala. Come, I'll take you.
Chalo.
Paul is born Indian, but from born also in India.
Yeah, Kerala.
Kerala, but he's New Zealand based. You're doing your masters now, or what?
No, finished all the studies.
Oh, the studies. No, something research you're doing.
Now trying to do something on my own, like a business on my own.
So what was that thing you did in New Zealand?
So I did a PhD on innovation management. So studied about innovation, how businesses became success, failure, what are the things to make it success. Then I am trying to start my own thing.
You were working in, you're engaged there, no, for some time, working.
Yeah. I worked there for some time. Yeah. My latest was I worked in the was a Prime Minister's Chief Scientific Advisor. I was working in her office for some time.
So anyway, later if you feel like you want to interact with him,
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
he is my guest also, and we're trying to do something to explore. Oh, okay. Some, different communities to visit Nagaland, na? And even after 10 years coming. So I'll just show you here. What a naughty boy is that? So this is our roof. So we built this house without removing the trees, okay?
Oh,
So where he is sitting on his own. Nanti para cari tu dulu. Tu siapa ya? Tahu. This so to taste different type of roof. This is just a plastered roof with a thin aluminium sheet inside. This is known as a dry stone wall without mortars. Minimal, yeah. It's
without
about-
cement, anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about.
Well put together stones.
Yeah. So, stones. No? If you are interested in constructing, because eventually after you earn enough money, you'll say, I want to build this dream."
Dream house.
And those, you'll end up engaging people who is not bothered about your dream house. They just want
Exactly.
their money, okay?
Exactly.
And stone. Stone is a natural element. When you build your house with concrete, beautiful glass house, modernized, industrial, postmodern, keep in mind, the older your building becomes, the more good bungalow type it becomes. The RCC and all these modern structure, it requires maintenance all the time. Otherwise, you start losing its value every year. But when you build with natural materials, stone, wood, and all, the older the house becomes, the richer it becomes. It's got a heritage. It becomes more lived in, and sometimes when you see, Coco, no, Pasupilama. Oh, flag gunde. Ayah, flagpole tu paisya. Flagpole. Kecil sama.
20 feet ke apa kali?
So natural materials, stone has a. You have to learn how to work stone. That when there's a face like this, there should be another face that reciprocates. It's about selection of stone and carefully selecting the stone as if they were part of the same jigsaw and then fitting in. But if you don't do that carefully, then the stonework will look shabby or will look this thing. So these are all part of the training. The whole Seithogei living school concept was to train and to let them learn in this process. So you'll see different stone backs of every layer of stone. Each stone has got their own story. Okay? So when they started. We'll go and see once again. So when they started very shabby, then they'll improve, So group of communities, a group of people come and stay here with me, and I keep training till they become fine, they improve, and then suddenly we engage them into our life project. So we go to a remote place and bring a couple of boys, and then we keep training them. The girls, though, I've set up eateries and all these things for them. So the girls learn about confectionery or food product and gardening, and then they go in a different the girls group is different. That the lady who's cooking for you, maybe she heads the team, so she's just come back from the chapu and all, no? Yeah. So the idea behind chapu was, when I go, because I go to remote villages, we sometimes see people trying to sell something on the road where there's hardly going to be, no vehicle will come. No? Means hardly maybe 1-2 vehicles, so they're just hoping someone will just. So whenever we stop there, we buy off everything, and then we buy it out, and then we come and sell it at chapu. So chapu was set up.
짭이 사람의 요리리다.
Haven't seen that before.
So, but I thought like a normal bamboo.
It's from Japan.
Okay.
Then
That one, up one.
no, all these things. This is known as rocket bamboo, arrow bamboo. Hey, kilo for that. No, you're. So then on the main road, there's one from Bali,
Okay.
and there's Moso bamboo, that is Phyllostachys naturix, the common Chinese bamboo, the running bamboo.
Okay.
So come. No, actually, Mao Zedong are not allowing you to come here. So all this water will come down here. All this.
Oh, okay. There's a breaker.
So this, I have created 4 wells. So you can come down, walk down. Let's see. So all this storm now, when the storm comes, this water will come here. And it will wash into the. Colonial. Itu guru ama tu ke sab tu kima dulawal kima grow like muni gina ro wash grow like muni gi macam apa gi huh
Huge cows.
So the cow dung. So this is a commercial scale vermicomposting, okay? So we just all the cow dung. See, the cow dung has to be mixed with the cow urine. So unless cow dung is mixed with cow urine, it is of no use. So from here it will mix, and sometimes all the water that comes from there it will wash down here, and then from here it again the water will go to the farm. So one of the easiest, the fastest snacks or meal for vermicompost is cow dung. It really loves cow dung, okay? so all these things are meal for the worm. So we collect and infuse the cow dung with. So all these are our bamboo plantations. This is a technique called Miyawaki. So I'm telling you. So Miyawaki has this Japanese guy who has found out a way of
Geotech.
farming in such a way that you can regrow a forest, 100-year-old forest in 30 years. And it's about densely compacting it and so
I think it's Richard, we can have one, some kind of online.
plantation is not the big trees but in the remaining. All this bamboo, I personally
Saros I put set up this one.
will just make this framework. There's something okay. All your
Come.
Tahandu, Bishopaktu, Kila religion follower.
Indigenous religion, Hindu.
Oh, animistic, no? So, quantum reality is recently, just last year, Nobel Prize also was given to quantum science. And quantum science is something which is very complex, but you have to spend some time thinking about it. Quantum reality is a scenario where your future may have two outputs, two outcomes. Either you'll become successful or you'll become unsuccessful. And in both, you'll be living both lives. You'll be living two realities. It's a complex thing, okay? Now we are headed for war. Eventually World War III will come in and the world will be destroyed. And this will only happen to those people who subscribe to that mentality. And the world will end right before their very eye. And for those group of people who does not subscribe to that world and think, work on, dream about a world that is being revived and everything is being restored, for that people they will never experience that. Anil, so they will not experience that. And what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've learned is that there are certain laws that guide. Okay, let me tell you something. If you see all these things that I have and all the vehicles that I have, you'll be thinking he's a rich person. Or maybe he's working in a government or he's doing something. Till today, for me, I'm being guided. So people will not understand that, but for me, I see in my dreams, step by step, like what is to be done. This place I saw in 1993. I got it in 2019. So there is a map that's being given to me, and I'm just following that. I'm not a government contractor. I'm not a supplier. I'm not employed by the government in that sense. Like I'm not having a government job, nor do I have property where I bill and rent, collect rent, or I have not built any house where I'm collecting rent. Most of my restaurants and what I do, it's only self-sustainable. They only sustain themselves because we don't take in any money from that. So most of our venture, but in spite of all that, whatever money is required keeps coming. In terms of like some service provider or something, some training facility or something. It just, from the time we started, it was always been like that. And it is because of certain laws. The law of attraction. When whatever you are going to attract, whatever you are sending out, the signals. If you are very positive and if you know like you're abundance, everything will come to me. When you think like that, it will only come. A lot of people, including myself, used to have this mistake saying that money is not important in life. Don't say like that. Money is not your enemy. Say money is very important. Don't try to condemn. I don't need money. No, people will say, don't say like that. Don't condemn. So when you say money is not important, you'll end up not getting money. So a lot of artists and a lot of very creative people die very poor because they keep saying, I'm not doing it for money. I don't want money. No, I don't need money. And they keep saying like that, and the money will not come. So you are going to attract whatever you are saying. And understand, whichever God you pray and believe in, God is never a God of poverty. God is never, whichever God you believe in also, never, don't think like poverty is a program of God. It is only, you only become poor and rich based on how you speak it. And for those of you who are Christian, you have to go to the Bible and see. Even Jesus said, knock and it shall be opened. Ask and you will receive. But people say, Bhagwan ki dishe, whatever God give, I'll only take that. No, God will not give you anything, okay? God will not give you anything unless you ask. So you will always be in neutral gear, and a lot of people are stuck in neutral gear. And they say, if God is there, why are there so many people in the world who are suffering and who are not being successful? Because they don't claim it. They don't ask it from God. So there's a way of doing it. Every day when you start in the morning, always be grateful. Thank God for all the people in your life. One of your boyfriend who cheated you inspired you to write a song. Help you become more creative to write a very long letter of goodbye. Some people, some friends who cheated you allowed you to become smart because before that you were naive. So all the negative thing also has got very good positive meaning in your life, and we just cannot afford to be not at peace, because feeling hurt and feeling bad at someone is like a burden which we are carrying. It's not really worth that. If someone has cheated you, it is not. Why do you want to burden yourself by carrying the thought that the person has cheated you? Please understand that in the greater scheme of things, when someone cheats on you or cheats you, they have taken away some part of the crimes that you have done in your past lives. Okay, they have just taken away that bag and they have taken it. So let them take it. Okay, I have paid for my sins because now you have done bad things on me. No, you have cheated me. You have so I give that. I'm being relieved of that part. So like that. There's one thing which is known as the law of accumulation, and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people spend their life, the best part of their life, working hard, trying to accumulate stuff, trying to earn a lot of money, trying to do a lot of things, but in the end, it just ends up poisoning them. And it either poison them or either poison the third generation. Means the third generation will end up selling all their grandfather's property. And it will not immediately affect the next generation, but the third generation will affect. So it's known as the law of accumulation. So don't accumulate anything. The moment you earn, you keep spending, and things have to vibrate. If you want to change communities, you just need 8 people, okay? You just need to change 8 people. Keep this in mind. I don't know whether it's there in your Sociological textbook, but if you can convince 8 people, there is. Have you heard of the 100 monkey experiment? No, you have heard, no?
Climbing ladder.
Huh?
The climbing ladder.
No, not the climbing ladder. In Japan, they have experiment that it's known as 100 monkey experiment. You can just note it down and then search later also. But it's about mass consciousness. You just need to influence a certain group of people, and the rest without even you having to talk to the community. Okay. The monkey thing was people observing someone getting beaten initially, no, there's the letter, the step. It's something like that, but in a 100 monkey experiment, there's an actual experiment done in Japan. So people, whatever, if 8 people get together and start getting very good vibe about changing the community, no, and having a lot of commitment, whatever you're discussing will just go onto the mind of all the people around them without you even talking to them. They'll start behaving like you. Okay, you'll start getting influenced. And this type of experiment was what prompted us to be able to clean the lake in Kohima. You have seen in the center PHQ there's a lake. It's a pretty lake. I have a bamboo market. You can see my markets also, but if I convince just 8 people enough, then people start cleaning on their own. They started getting together and started cleaning. So you have to understand this. So they just walk a little bit down, and then after that you are free to go.
Let's go.
So this, all the leaves, you should never burn, okay? We tribal people are so fond of burning jungles and burning something. Whenever you find something that is like plastic, or let's get it together and just burn it. Don't burn anything. Let it keep composting for whatever interior. Allowing water. When you raise up and nurse your chili and whatnot, you can grow it into a tree like this. Huh? You can grow it into huge trees. Container, we take thermocol. Why thermocol is a very good insulator and is very cheap also. But this is not the conventional way people use thermocol, because this what you are seeing is the bottom part. I've cut it out, so it's hollow below also. And below we'll put cardboard. Okay. So when you put cardboard, all the weeds that were growing initially will not come up, and later it will break down. The cardboard will break down. And I put full, first is you fill it up entirely with just clay, and then you make holes, and inside that we put our vermicompost and cocoa peat or any kind of loose material. Huh? You put it in there and you grow your vegetable. What happens is, because clay will, when you water it once, clay will trap all the water and it will slowly keep feeding the vegetable. So this is our local people will not have the discipline of everyday watering their garden. So this is a technique that I'm developing to address how local people can grow. And in between all this, in between, so you keep all these weeds, you are going to use it as a mulch. So you again throw it here, you keep throwing it here, till all the weeds will reach up to this much. So after that, what will happen is, it'll trap, even if there's little bit of rain, it'll trap all the water and keep feeding it. And then you can just grow vegetable like this. These are like not maintained farm, okay? How to grow without maintenance? How to grow with maintenance is easy, but when you get the time, no. In this day and age, when I'm also not getting the time, no. Most of you would have tried a little bit of gardening and find that you are not able to tend your farm, and then nothing after that.
Nothing here.
Everything died. So this is a way of farming where you don't have to attend to it.
Let's go. 오, 좀 너무 소리 잡라. Nice.
The more you compact the vegetables, there's less chance of weed. So just build that, just throw in the seeds, and all these weeds also help to get in the arid. So and sometimes you put in corn or maize and then let it distract pests. So marigold is one. So we're just developing the whole thing. It's a slow process, but you have to. The idea is when you are going to develop your land, when it rains, you take a spade, you take a raincoat, and go and start seeing how the water is going, and try to make sure that the water keep making small nala and play with it, and make sure all maximum water flow. You're not allowing to just flow in one land and one area. Just keep making that nala, okay? Keep making it, keep developing it, till water is flowing maximum through your garden. And later, last only you build your house. Make sure your kitchen is at the top level, because maximum water will be used in the kitchen, and the kitchen water should keep flowing. So we'll just walk there. I'll show you what happens to our kitchen water.
Mushroom leaf.
You want it? Yeah, I like it. I don't like it.
Also, all of compost bed, okay? We're trying to clear all the kitchen water, wastewater, make sure that they convert, they're clean up before they flows into the neighbor. We have a community drain here.
Oh, okay.
So before it gets onto the drain, everything has to be filtered off. So we have
Kind of refined on the way.
Yeah. So that also is composting bin. So everything has got a pond liner and all, and stage. At every stage, you'll keep filtering. So you can just walk through there. Oh, no, you can break that spider web. Going straight from the port.
Big tree from a pot. This is where we are staying. This is the room we are living in. Oh, careful, Heli.
wastewater, no? From the kitchen will flow in here, okay? It goes through a series of that plant filters the soap water. So it comes like this. So the whole idea is to separate the water as much as possible. Get more room.
Let's go.
Now, idea is to
Go, go, go.
get this segment of the right space where can be sucked out. People to deal with different brickwork. So all techniques. Behind those boxes are this thing, a smoking chamber.
Okay.
This is the area where in time like now the interns heat water for taking bath.
Okay.
For mas crazy, quieres Goma. For mas crazy, quieres he's getting excited because he's seeing beautiful girls.
As soon as we reach, told them, come and check my house. Oh my God, wow, so beautiful.
So we have completed the circuit.
Yeah. Complete circle.
Below is our blacksmith.
Okay.
Blacksmith unit. Right now he's gone for holiday.
Okay.
Inside here also, I hope you got to understand something. Eh?
Yes, sir.
So slowly it will evolve, but it is about understanding that Mother Earth is a real entity. If you don't conserve, preserve, and help Mother Earth heal itself, we can recreate back all the forest, okay? And you don't have to stress out farming. You have seen none that those tobacco cutting.
Yes.
No one is managing it.
Self-sustaining.
We just threw in the seeds. We only made sure we prepared the compost properly, no? We just threw it in there, and then we just threw the seeds there. And it is not just now. We are doing this in places like Newland, where it's so hot, like it can reach 40 degrees centigrade and all, no? And plants survive. So you start, and I don't know how much it costs, but Kyoto tobacco box, so if you tell them, they even give it to us free. The fish vendors, because they just throw it.
Even our sites are, they give free, I think, even our side. 50, acha.
30 in Nagaland.
Acha, acha. Some places they give free, sir.
Here also some places they charge us 10 rupees. At 32 we get the plastic crate. But I do pot farming, and pot farming is Avan. कोई अपनी पोत अपनी चिंता पूरी तरह निकलो देखो तो I've got the see.
The pot is not, the hole is made only here, okay? Can you see? So I'll put like this.
And then now I'll fill clay all over, and only in the center I make the hole, and then I'll put the good soil only this much. Do you get it? And I'll properly soak this in water, or make sure that all this bamboo charcoal and sand absorb as much as water as possible. And once that's done, I keep the pot out. It should survive through this whole dry summer, on and off. It might rain. See, maybe I'm a bad example, but I think a lot of people are like me. I've got. If I were given this task of watering the pot, sometimes I may water 2-3 days regularly, and then I'll forget for a month, and then one day I'll come and so. I would love to just water it once properly and then have at least 2 weeks off without being able to remember when did I last water. So this is a pot that I'm creating for myself. And I tested last year, all my plants survived. So this is an ideal size of a pot because it prevents the heat from coming up to the root. Because it's the temperature of the soil and the pH of the soil that is going to tell you whether your soil is suitable for that plant or not. But if you can tweak that, if you know how to tweak it, to make it more alkaline, we use lime. To make it more acidic, we use sulfur. Okay, so you'll be like an alchemist. And when you can play with that, and when you know like exactly how much pH you need to put, and what soil condition you need, temperature you need to create, then you can even grow winter crops in summer in pot. Not in greenhouses, okay? All these greenhouses are just too unnecessary expensive investments. People are tricked into thinking that you need to build a greenhouse to grow something so that the greenhouse fellow can make business. And it looks good also.
Yes.
And it looks like a status symbol. Every rich Naga will have one JCB park outside their house. So this is the pot farming, clay and the good soil in the center. So we will go through the lean, dry winter spell to till March as the rain sets in, and in the pot with minimal watering. How many plants can survive? And if you can do that, you can grow chilies into trees. Okay. Chilies can aram say in 5 years time, but the second year is most critical from the tree. So you have to know how to prune what, and if you can grow it into trees, then the yield will be more. And if you can have more yield, then you can talk about business. If you have less yield, then it will be more work, less yield. That's why farmers are poor, because the skill is there but knowledge is not there. So everything is about knowledge. Why our local alu, they say alu. Alu is not a local name only, so where local alu word comes in. So our local potatoes are so small.
Yes.
And why is it small? Because of science. Potato is the only vegetable that grows in a very acidic medium. And acidic pH is at 4.5. Whereas most of the vegetables will grow only at around 6.5, almost alkaline to neutral. No? So, since we apply cow dung and all these things, it's only going to make it alkaline. Because in composting we have bacterial compost and we have fungal compost. Bacterial compost, fungal compost. Okay, how many of you like flowers and flower gardening? Just raise your hand.
Yes, that they want.
So let me teach you this primer. most flowers thrive on acidic soil. Most flowers bloom only on acidic soil. If you have ever grown a hydrangea, you have seen a beautiful color and you brought it to your house and you find that the color has changed. Why the color has changed? Because the pH has changed. Now you apply sulfur and then again your color will be back to normal. If your roses and all are not blooming as brightly as you see in your neighbor's house, it's because it does not have enough iron. So everything is about understanding. So cow dung, anything, cow dung, chicken manure, pigs manure, and all these things are bacterial compost. Okay? Even our vermicompost comes in bacterial compost. And the jungle mold, or anything we make from trichoderma, mycorrhiza, and all, the bokashi composting, these are fungal mold, means fungal composting. So fungal compost, the one which you get from the jungle mold, it's all fungal compost. Fungal compost we don't apply to vegetables, because if we apply fungal compost to vegetables, bacterial infection, not fungal. Plant trees will get bacterial infection. Flowers will rarely, it never get that kind of fungal infection unless it's a specific variety of this thing. But for that, we do organic inputs like bacterial, trichoderma is there, pseudomonas is there, azotobacter is there for converting nitrogen. So it's a phase manner. It's just organic farming. The term organic farming is a hoax. Okay, it's just a fake thing. People say, "Well, teach you organic farming," and I'm working with these people now. Organic. It is never easy to come to an organic state. If you are in the jungle, you are already in organic farming state. Okay, you don't need to do anything. Okay, but if you think you are going to recreate an organic farming, it's a very expensive process. Because so anyway, this I have made a small video I can share with you also. But organic farming, okay, the soil has to be good. Means it's known as carbon nitrogen ratio. And unless carbon nitrogen ratio is good, there's no point putting organic fertilizer, because organic compound, bone meal, blood meal, needs to break down first before it is available to the plants. And if there are no bacteria in the soil, it's not going to break down. Okay. Sometime when I was starting, I just used to apply cow dung and wait for the magic to happen, and how my plants would suddenly grow overnight, man. And nothing happens. No, there's no change. Instead, it's dying only. And I did not know how much to water, how less to water. So, but when you can understand the system, it's very easy. It's very easy, as in like when you do the exact system, you can just keep multiplying. And anything that you do in life, any business that you do in life, make sure that it is got a passive way of earning its own money. Like my garden, you can say, is passive gardening. Because I just set the system and don't manage it. No. Just throw in the seed and create a system where you can trap all the water, and then so that kind of you do it passively, and then you will be able to manage a system, revive, because what this earth needs is, it needs a lot of trees. You need to plant a lot of trees. It's about, that's one point I missed, harvesting energy again. Harvesting energy, there is something actually in reality known as energy harvesting. And the more energy you harvest, the more positive people you will attract. Okay? And you can lose your energy by meeting people with low energy. You can boost your energy by meeting people with high energy. That is why people, successful people, if you see, they hang around only in a specific crowd. They don't mingle much with others because they can lose their energy. There was an instance in the Bible when someone touched Jesus from behind and Jesus said that, who touched? Like that also. And because these are people of high energy, and when you have understood that, you will not even flirt around with just anybody. If you want to flirt around, flirt with people with high energy. But your energy can get drained. Okay? And if your energy is drained, then you will not attract the right people. And not able to attract the right people, you only meet difficult people in your life. So one of the ways of harvesting energy, one of the ways of attracting energy is, one is planting trees or planting anything. Planting trees, cleaning water bodies. Stopping any water body from moving will cause health problem in your house. You always have to allow water. If you have noticed that they say when you build near a river or something, when you block that, or when you build over a stream, the building becomes haunted. Have you heard of stories like that? Haunted house near the river and whatnot. It's because when the path is blocked, because the earth is like, it's a living entity, it's alive. But because people have started severing it by polluting it, by stopping the water and all, stopping the water flow, it became a kind of a problem for communities. And where communities have devastated or destroyed their the ecological surrounding, you'll find that those communities are always fighting. Some events, some unnatural calamities happen in those areas. So even as a sociologist studying that environment, try to understand how energy flows, how pattern. If you want to develop a farm, the first thing I do when I want to develop anything, I always create, just by jungle clearance, I will always create a loop. Because if I don't finish off that loop, I'll never be able to develop that farm. The moment I start, I'll start feeling very lazy. Nothing will happen. So always you have to create a loop. You have to create something. And then you have to project, even if you don't have money, say you want to do something, you want to start something. Now always ask this question. Remember, whether you want to say it's God or it's a higher entity, remember yourself, yourself in the future is listening to you. You, yourself, somewhere in the future is listening to you. So it asks you, why do you want to do that? How does it help people? How does it benefit? Who is going to benefit from this activity? So when they say that, if you say, I want to start a company which is 1,000, which will have 10,000 employees, that will not have any positive benefit. But when you say, I want to start a company where 1,000 people can earn their livelihood through this company, then your company will start moving in the right direction. As long as you keep projecting out how this is going to benefit the world in the future, as long as you can project that out, your company will thrive. Otherwise, a lot of people does MBA. Paul is a perfect candidate. MBA teaches you nothing but just templates, okay? And as long as you use your brain to develop your business, there's only a chance that in 20 years' time, Amlong, pan anisya. In 20 years' time, in just 20 years, the business will flop. Because they will run out of ideas of how to make that business go. But the business where you only focus on helping people grow, that business will never stop. So, because you are impacting something in the future. If someone wins a lottery, no, it's already in the future world that the family fortune has changed. It is impacting so much into the. It's going to change so much into the future, right? So the guy driving the vehicle goes and meets with an accident, and it balances it out. And they say, lottery ba gari kine jatara is bad, na? Because why? Because it's trying to balance itself out. Because it's going to change so much into the future. So whatever actions that we do, ultimately is changing something into the future. This is known as the butterfly effect. Have you heard of that term, butterfly effect?
Yes.
So this is the butterfly effect, that the action that you are doing today is going to change something in the future, and you have to be conscious all the time. And don't ever think that because you are young, you have time on your side. You don't know like what is your timeline. And if you are changing something in the future, then definitely it is having a positive impact on yourself. And this is where the energy gets on the high, because right now we are going through an era of depression. Okay, unless you guys are very careful, this is a totally different era. You'll just get into depression for no reason. You'll just get into just even hating yourself for no reason. So you have to always be on a high energy, because the earth, the whole earth energy field itself is moving, and there's an imbalance, and people are getting agitated very fast. Man, suddenly you see crimes that you cannot imagine. Suddenly you just see like people are ready to go to war for no reason. Man. So all this thing will just play itself out. So this, keep in mind, have a good positive energy. Try to see what we are doing at Hornbill also. It's totally, everyone's got different ideas. So instead of building with natural material, they started building with all prefabricated steel also. But anyway, we have just built an international mall there. Just go and see that also. Today you are taking a bus, no?
Yes, sir.
You have to go to Kisama ground. Yeah, Kiwema ground. The bus.
Okay.
Yeah. And from there they'll give you free shuttle, another bus, no?
Okay.
So you come down to this place.
Okay.
But it's better you go like by 12 you reach there, because they would already have started the rehearsals and whatnot. So take a look around. Any questions after all this extensive lecture?
Any questions?
Anything you guys want to ask?
I know Ada is saying.
Ada, you want to ask?
We asked that one. If the pot which have been used for coal and all, it's good for this one, plantation, vegetable.
Coal.
Vegetable.
Also
The boat that you showed.
This pot.
Yeah.
Even this coal and all, we soil mix, if we mix, we can use for vegetable growing.
Yeah, this is for growing vegetables. No? And mostly I'm putting this, any trees that I buy, no? So I can see all these plantation trees. No? Now I have to set it in this pot and let it wait till April in this pot, and then it has to reach before I plant it. So I want to improve the soil. No? So you can plant it, even smaller pot, even this size of pot you can use for plant. But
Same technique.
why thermocol this thing is better is because you make it dense. No? You can put more, and then it does not cost anything. This is like only for this plant that I bought recently, so I'll put this inside. So, and you also have to learn how to use a little bit of synthetic fertilizer before you progress to. For trees, so when you're planting trees, you really need synthetic fertilizer, because organic fertilizer will not be sufficient, because you need a lot of organic fertilizer and your soil will not be in that condition. So initially, before you plant anything, most of the time we are looking at as preparing a soil that will have a alkaline this thing. So rule of the time is just apply lime and work in the soil. if your soil is not good, you put in a little bit of urea and then work it in. Urea and all this thing uses salt to carry this thing, but if you over apply it will make this earth saline. So you just apply a little, but we'll put azotobacter in place of if you don't want to use, if you have time. If you're not going to immediately plant things, don't use urea. If you're going to immediately plant now, like out of one night Josh seeing
Motivation.
some YouTube channel and really wanting to plant something, start some gardening. If you want to do that, use urea, a little bit of urea and lime. Otherwise, the next schedule is when you plant trees, always use single superphosphate, that is SSP. Every 15 days, take it little and apply. And for 3 months, that means 6 applications. You have to apply this, and if you don't apply this, then the root it will not trigger the root to move. Unless the root moves and starts going into the main soil, when the dry season comes, it will die. So you have to follow this schedule. After SSP, you only fertilize maximum of 3 times a year, okay, or 2 times a year. If you have tried planting coconut and then you have failed, please understand that coconut is not a freshwater cutting, it's a seawater, so it needs salt. If you don't apply salt, it's not going to survive. So a lot of us have missed out that. We tried planting coconut and we failed, and because there was no salt in it. So DAP will come in next. DAP will come in like Valentine's Day is one day. Probably it was not designed to be romantic, but if once the day is selected for putting fertilizer to your plant. Okay.
Fertilizer day.
Yeah. So it's a fertilizer day. Okay, don't put fertilizer anywhere else, but only the plant. Then around May and then in October. So the 3 times of the year you need to fertilize. We eat organic composting, or we eat, so if you're using synthetic, we're talking in terms of teaspoon. If you're using organic, we're talking in terms of bags. Okay, that's the only difference. But so then, when the fruiting happens, it's MOP, potash. So these are the macronutrients. Then you can get into micronutrients more. So everything has got a role, okay, and it's only maybe 15, and then 2 more, like making it 17. Oxygen, hydrogen, and all these things being available from the soil. But it is the same way you take care of a small child when it's born, because of you have experience through your family, whatnot. But zinc, iron, injection being given so that the iron can carry oxygen. So the same process plant also undergoes. So all this, like calcium is required. The moment nitrogen is given to the plant is growing, but it does not, the structure is not strong. So you have to apply a little bit of calcium. You have to provide magnesium so that the leaves can be healthy. You have to provide molybdenum so that the chlorophyll. We are expert from Chicago. Next time you come for rice beer brewing. So we are doing our local rice beer for Hondu. Since you'll be leaving tomorrow, we might not have it ready. When will it be ready? By tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, tomorrow, day after.
Not by tonight.
There is a batch ready, but it's a little bit sour, a little bit tangy, but it's pretty good.
We miss we miss it by about 4 days or 3 days.
No, because we're working with a new yeast actually. Yeah, we're just understanding how the yeast works.
Then that would be a very profitable business. Just next to vermicomposting.
Second best.
It's called fermentation. Yeah. This is helping ferment.
Yeah, it's a science of fermentation. It's called bacteria. If you go to I just recently went to a very big beer factory in Arunachal, where all these 3-4 Godfather, Kingfisher, all even this Budweiser, that strong one, which is
Magnum.
Everything is being bottled there only. Okay, so I asked them,
how do, because it's going through the same process only now, how do you decide which is Kingfisher and which is Budweiser? No? How do you decide? So they say company, no? Company give them all their recipe and they brew, no? But their yeast, no? It comes from the company only, top secret.
Exclusive.
So the yeast is the main.
Yeah, the yeast is the only thing that they have. A Budweiser company only controls the yeast. The rest you buy and make. They'll give you the formula and you make.